Hello again. Jared Case here, curator of film exhibitions at the Dryden Theater and the George Eastman Museum with another streaming recommendation. And those who know me even just a little bit will wonder maybe, it's been 2 weeks of streaming recommendations and we haven't yet gotten any film noir. Well, as we have this theme week where we're doing one recommendation from every decade to the 20s through the 60s, we're up to the 40s now, and of course you're going to get a streaming recommendation for a film noir. And our choice today is a 1948 film called Pitfall, directed by André Toth and starring Dick Powell, Elizabeth Scott, and Raymond Burr. And 1948 was the year after the greatest year for film noir, which was 1947 with films such as Out of the Past, Crossfire, Dark Passage, The Lady from Shanghai, Lady in the Lake, Brute Force. This is such a wonderful year, but each of these actors had a part to play in that 1947 year that they went on to 1948 as well to play in this film. So Dick Powell was, of course, in Johnny O'Clock. Elizabeth Scott was in one of my sort of overlooked great films of that year of 1947, Dead Reckoning, with Humphrey Bogart. And those who are familiar with Raymond Burr only from his television appearances as Raymond Burr in Ironsides may not know this is very early in his career. He was often cast as a very tough, menacing villain. So that's exactly what he is in this film, Pitfall, as he is in Anthony Mann's Desperate from 1947, an early film in his career. So in this film, Dick Powell plays an insurance adjuster. He's following up on a claim that has been made, and that's when he meets Elizabeth Scott. He finds that he is in a rut. His life maybe is not what he expected it to be, or it's not, it's exciting all the time. When he meets Elizabeth Scott, he falls in love with her. At least he thinks he does. He shows the outward signs of falling in love with her. Of course, he's married, and he's got a kid. So this is the transgression of this film noir that he's going to suffer for. Getting in the way of his situation is Raymond Burr, who is this private investigator who's been hired to work the case. And as Powell gets to know Elizabeth Scott and they fall in love and he spends some time with her, Burr is the one who also is interested in Elizabeth Scott and is using this as a blackmail, this information about Powell as blackmail material so that he can get the girl and as well as whatever else he wants. So it moves on from there, but it's interesting how already we're seeing sort of an evolution after the greatest year of film noir, starting in 1948, because many of the film noirs that we know and we associate with the term film noir have to do with more of a violent transgression, a murder, or something else that the character needs to be punished for as they make this journey from the light to the dark. So this crime of infidelity that he suffers for and he agonizes over, and that the world is conspiring to punish him for, is more of a move towards an ethical transgression rather than a legal transgression. But it's a really fantastic film, particularly if you see it in that light. It's got some great 1947 photography from Los Angeles, shot on location in some of the streets, so you may want to look at it for that. But it's Pitfall, and it is streaming on Amazon Prime right now, so you'll want to pick it up there. Come back, 1950s, we'll have another recommendation for you tomorrow.